truth curry stories. I never thought my 65-year-old father would be sleeping with my wife. Listen, I need to tell you what happened to my family last Thanksgiving in Scottsdale, Arizona, because I'm still processing the absolute nuclear bomb that went off in our lives. My name's Tyler, I'm 34, and I work as a software engineer for a tech startup. One of those grind culture places where 80-hour weeks are normal and they throw ping pong tables at you instead of actual work-life balance. My mom, Linda, she's 63, retired elementary school teacher from Mesa, has been the backbone of our family for 40 years. Married to my dad, Robert, since 1984, raised 3 kids, volunteered at church every Sunday, the whole American dream package. She's the type who still brings casseroles to sick neighbors and remembers everyone's birthdays. Here's where it gets dark. My wife Ashley and I had been going through a rough patch. I was traveling to San Francisco every other week for work, leaving her alone in our Tempe townhouse. Mom, being mom, started checking in on Ashley more often, bringing groceries, taking her to lunch at the Cheesecake Factory, even helping with our 2-year-old daughter Emma when Ashley felt overwhelmed. It was a Tuesday afternoon in October, that brutal Arizona heat where it's still 95 degrees even though Halloween decorations are up. Mom had made her famous chicken enchiladas, Ashley's favorite, and drove over unannounced to surprise her. She had a key because, that's what families do. She texted me later that when she walked up to the door, she heard sounds. At first, she thought Ashley was watching TV too loud. But then she recognized something that made her blood run cold. A man's voice, low and intimate, coming from our bedroom. And not just any man's voice. My 65-year-old father's voice. Mom stood there in our front yard, holding that Pyrex dish of enchiladas, her hands shaking so bad she almost dropped it. She could hear them through the cracked bedroom window, the window I'd been meaning to fix the seal on for months. The sounds were unmistakable. This wasn't some misunderstanding. This wasn't a friendly visit. Mom didn't confront them. Instead, she did something I never expected from a woman who'd never even gotten a speeding ticket. She went full detective mode. She drove straight to a private investigator's office in downtown Phoenix, one of those places with the faded signs that look like they're from a noir movie. The PI, this ex-cop named Marcus, who'd seen everything Phoenix had to offer, told her bluntly, "Ma'am, in 30 years of this job, family betrayals are the worst. Are you sure you want to know everything?" Mom looked him dead in the eye and said, "I taught 7th graders for 35 years. I can handle anything." Over the next 3 weeks, Marcus documented everything. Photos of my dad's truck parked at our house during my business trips. Credit card records showing hotel charges at the Marriott near Sky Harbor Airport, always on days Ashley told me she was visiting her sister in Tucson. Text messages my dad was dumb enough to leave undeleted, including one that said, "Can't wait to hold you again, baby girl." Baby girl. He called my wife baby girl. But here's the part that broke my mom completely. It wasn't just an affair. Marcus discovered they'd been meeting for 8 months. 8 months! Every time I flew to San Francisco, my dad would tell Mom he was going golfing with his buddies at the Biltmore. Instead, he was in my bed, with my wife, in the house where my daughter played. The PI found something else. Ashley had been Googling Arizona divorce laws, specifically about custody when one parent travels extensively for work. She'd visited 3 different divorce attorneys in Scottsdale. They weren't just having an affair. They were planning to blow up both marriages and probably end up together. Mom discovered that Dad had even been transferring money to Ashley. $500 here, $1,000 there, labeled as lawn service and pool maintenance in their joint account. We don't have a pool, and our HOA covers lawn service. Mom sat on this information for 2 weeks, planning her next move like a chess grandmaster. She decided Thanksgiving would be perfect. The whole family would be there. My siblings would fly in from Denver and Seattle. Ashley's parents would drive up from Tucson. 30 people total at my parents' house in Scottsdale. She acted completely normal. Made her famous cornbread stuffing, sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows on top, 2 different types of pie, and she even asked Ashley to help with the green bean casserole, standing next to her in the kitchen while knowing what she knew. After dinner, when everyone was full and happy, sitting around the living room watching the Cowboys game, Mom stood up and said she had an announcement. Everyone assumed she was going to say something about retirement or maybe a cruise they were planning. Instead, she pulled out her iPad, connected it to the 75-inch TV, and said, "I want to share some photos from the past few weeks." The room went dead silent. You could hear the ice maker in the kitchen. My daughter Emma was the only one making noise, playing with her toys, oblivious to the bomb that just detonated. Ashley went white as a sheet. My dad started to stand up, his face purple, saying, "Linda, what the hell do you think you're—" Mom cut him off. "Sit down, Robert. I'm not finished." She pulled up the audio recordings. Oh yeah, Marcus had given her a voice-activated recorder, and she'd hidden it in our bedroom during one of her helpful visits. The audio was, explicit. My father-in-law's voice, my voice, saying things that nobody should ever have to hear. Ashley's parents started screaming. Her dad, this tough former Marine who did 2 tours in Iraq, looked like ready to kill someone. Her mom was sobbing. My siblings were in complete shock. My brother actually threw up, just ran to the bathroom and puked. Ashley tried to run out, but her dad blocked the door, not threatening, just standing there, with tears streaming down his face, saying, "How could you do this to Tyler, to Emma? How?" My dad, this man who'd coached my little league team, who had taught me to change oil and throw a curveball, who had walked Ashley down the aisle at our wedding because her dad was deployed, he just sat there, looking at his hands. Mom turned to me and said, "Tyler, honey, I'm so sorry, but you needed to know. There's a lawyer's cart in your pocket. I put it there when I hugged you earlier. She's the best divorce attorney in Phoenix, and she's expecting your call Monday morning." Then she turned to Dad. "You have 1 hour to pack your things and leave. The locks will be changed by tonight. I've already moved half the money from our joint accounts into my personal account, which is completely legal in Arizona. I checked. Your clothes are in garbage bags in the garage." What followed was 3 months of absolute hell. Mom's divorce lawyer, this absolute shark named Patricia, who'd handled divorces for Phoenix Cardinals players, destroyed Dad in court. Arizona is a no-fault divorce state, but judges still consider egregious behavior when dividing assets. The evidence was overwhelming. Not just the affair, but the financial transfers to Ashley, the premeditation, the fact that it happened in the marital home Mom had helped us buy. Dad lost the house in Scottsdale, had to pay Mom alimony that basically meant he'd be living in a studio apartment off Bell Road for the foreseeable future.
My divorce was even uglier because of Emma. Ashley tried to claim I was an absent father due to my travel schedule, but Mom had been smart. She documented everything. Every time she'd watched Emma because Ashley was at her sister's, aka with Dad. Every school event I'd attended, every FaceTime call I'd made from California. The judge gave me primary custody. Ashley gets Emma every other weekend, and she has to pay child support, which is rare in Arizona, but the judge was disgusted by the affair happening in Emma's home. But here's where Mom really got her revenge. See, Dad had been proud of his reputation. 40 years at the same company, Boeing subsidiary in Mesa. Golf club membership at the Phoenician, deacon at their megachurch in Scottsdale. Mom didn't have to spread the gossip. Small towns talk, even when not small town is a Phoenix suburb. Within a month, Dad was encouraged to take early retirement from Boeing. The golf club revoked his membership after several members complained about feeling uncomfortable. The church, let's just say that adultery with your daughter-in-law doesn't go over well with the congregation. Ashley lost her job too. She was a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker, and apparently nobody wants to buy a house from someone they can't trust. Her Instagram, where she used to post those fake perfect family photos, went from 5,000 followers to less than 500. The comments on her last post before she went private were brutal. Now, here's the beautiful part. Mom took that divorce settlement. We're talking about half of Dad's 401k, the house, the investment, and she transformed. She sold the Scottsdale house for $800K. Arizona real estate is insane right now. Bought a gorgeous condo in downtown Phoenix with a view of Camelback Mountain. She started taking classes at ASU's Lifelong Learning Program, joined a hiking group that does PSDO Peak every Saturday morning. She even started dating this retired firefighter named Jim who treats her like a queen and has no patience for men who don't honor their commitments. Last month, she sent me a photo from her wine tasting trip to Napa Valley with her new friends. She looked 10 years younger, laughing with a glass of Cabernet, golden hour light hitting our face. The caption, "Living my best life at 64. Meanwhile, Dad is living in a one-bedroom apartment near the I-17, working as a part-time consultant just to make ends meet. Ashley moved back with her parents in Tucson, trying to rebuild her real estate career from scratch. They're not even together anymore. Turns out when the thrill of the affair was gone and reality hit, they couldn't stand each other. Emma's doing great, by the way. She's with me most of the time, and Mom helps out constantly. We've got a good routine now. She doesn't understand why Mommy only visits sometimes, but she's happy and healthy and loved. Mom takes her to the Phoenix Children's Museum every Wednesday, and they have their special grandmother-granddaughter dates at the Sugar Bowl ice cream parlor. I'm in therapy, working through the betrayal. Started dating again. At this teacher named Sarah at Emma's preschool who actually understands why I have trust issues. We're taking it slow, but it's good. Real good. The last time I saw Dad was at a Circle K gas station in Tempe. He was buying scratch-off lottery tickets and a tall boy of Coors Light at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I saw him, started to say something, then just looked away. I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness. Nothing. Ashley texts me about Emma. Strictly business. She tried to apologize once, sent this long message about how she was emotionally vulnerable, and Dad took advantage. I responded with, all communication goes through lawyers unless it's about Emma's immediate needs. You know what the craziest part is? Mom told me later that she'd had a feeling something was off for months. Little things, Dad's new cologne, Ashley being weird at family dinners, the strange energy between them she couldn't quite place. She said her biggest regret was not trusting her instincts sooner. But when I asked her if she regretted the Thanksgiving reveal, she laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Honey, I was a middle school teacher. You know what I learned? Public humiliation is the only thing that truly changes behavior. They needed to be exposed in front of everyone who mattered. That wasn't revenge, that was justice." She was right. Some people say revenge is a dish best served cold. But in Arizona, even revenge is served at 115 degrees and it still burns just as bad. Dad and Ashley destroyed our family for 8 months of sneaking around. Mom destroyed them back in one night, and she did it with evidence, preparation, and the kind of stone-cold execution that would make a Fortune 500 CEO jealous. She lost a cheating husband, but gained her freedom, her dignity, and the respect of everyone who matters. Me? I lost a wife, but kept my daughter, my dignity, and gained a mother who showed me what real strength looked like. Sometimes the best revenge isn't doing something terrible to the people who hurt you, it's simply revealing the truth and letting them face the consequences of their own choices. And those consequences were absolutely devastating. But here's the thing, we're thriving now. Mom, Emma, and me. We're the family that survived the nuclear bomb and came out stronger. Every time I see Mom laughing at Emma's jokes or watch her confidently navigating her new life, I'm reminded that the best revenge really is living well. And we're living very, very well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more.